Hey, what's going on, guys? Ryan here from Game Essays, and today we're doing a tier list ranking all of the mainline Pokemon games. I'm going to set the criteria very clearly. This is, if I were to play a Pokemon game today, how much enjoyment would I get out of doing a casual playthrough of this game today? I'm also factoring in, for bonus points, shiny hunting stuff. That's kind of what I enjoy doing, particularly in the post game of a Pokemon game. So if there's a lot of ways that are fun to get shinies in the game, that's going to be bonus points. That's going to help its ranking in my eyes. That's just how I enjoy Pokemon, so that's how I'm ranking them. I'm trying to throw nostalgia completely out the window, so try not to have your feelings hurt when I'm pretty harsh on some of the older games. Like, for instance, I'm going to put the original Red and Blue in the D tier. There's almost no reason aside from if I just want to do like the missing no glitch or the Mew, the glitch to get Mew. Those are the only reasons I could see myself ever going back to these games. They're clunky, they're poorly balanced. There's a lot of quality of life stuff that we've gotten that, I'm not exactly excited to go back to these games and undo all the years worth of work that has made some of the modern games a little more enjoyable. Pokemon Yellow I will put in the C tier. There's a little bit more of a reason that I would think I would want to go back to it, just because the story is different. You do get all three of the Kanto starters, along with Pikachu. I know the 3DS version, I think, even has like a mini game that was unlocked that you couldn't access before, something like that. There's a little bit more going on. It's a little more unique, so I could see myself going back to it. Original Gold and Silver, I'm going to put in the C tier. Again, unlikely I would go back to it, but I would definitely play Gold and Silver over the original Red and Blue. But the more reason it's in the C tier is because I would much rather play Crystal, which I'm going to put in the B tier. I think Crystal is definitely the definitive OG Gen 2 game to play. It does have cool things like the Odd Egg, which is a way you could get a shiny baby Pokemon, and then the unique way that there is breeding in Pokemon Gen 2. It's a cool way to actually get shinies with pretty good odds, better than you would think for a game that old. And that egg that you get, even though Gen 2 breeding works the same across all the games, because you get a egg with a high shiny chance, it's like Crystal's definitely the best game to do that. Plus, I like just the unique stuff that they added in Crystal, and the whole storyline with Suicune and stuff is really cool. Ruby and Sapphire Original, I would also put in C tier. Unlikely to go back to those games, but if I did, I would definitely prefer to go back to those than original Red and Blue. But Emeralds, I would put in B tier, similar to Crystal, just more stuff to do, better content overall. Emerald is definitely, again, the third version was basically the definitive way to play that generation. I am going to throw up Fire Red and Leaf Green up in the B tier here. If I want to play through Kanto, which, I enjoy doing, I would rather play Fire Red, Leaf Green over original Red and Blue for sure. Now we get to Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl are going straight into the D tier. There's basically no reason to play these games, because Platinum is an A tier game. Yeah, Platinum is just a far superior version of Diamond and Pearl. Much better Pokedex. I like how they redid some of the gyms. Overall, it's good. The only downside I would say to Platinum is the ridiculous amount of HMs that is in the game. That's a problem across all of Gen 4, but Platinum overall is just a much more enjoyable game. The Giratina story with all the distortion world is really, really cool. Platinum's just awesome, and it was one of those games that really kind of like revitalized my interest in Pokemon big time. So I love Platinum. I would definitely go back to it. Great game. I'm going to put the remakes, I'm just going to skip ahead to the remakes. I'm going to put them in B tier. They are without a doubt the worst remakes that we've gotten in Pokemon thus far. The reason it's not lower for me though is I do appreciate the experience share that is in it. The fact that your team gets leveled up together. I know some people hate that, but honestly guys, just because it takes you more time and you're like, and you know, it's just grinding, right? I could make a level 100 team. It's just grinding. It's like, I appreciate that the newer games have that experience share or whatever, because it lets me use a more diverse team instead of basically having one anchor Pokemon have to carry me through the whole game. My team levels up pretty evenly, so then I can actually use different Pokemon, because usually you just end up using one kind of like anchor Pokemon that's carrying you and you're swapping it out. You maybe have one experience share to give like one Pokemon extra XP. All it is just take you more time. So I appreciate the convenience, and maybe that's a controversial take, but hey. So yeah, the only reason, well, there's two reasons that Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl has an advantage over Platinum, and like I said, that's the team experience and the fact that they got rid of the HMs. But those two aren't enough for me to say that they're better than Platinum, because all the good Platinum content should have been in these remakes, and then I would have ranked them higher, but it's not. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I think, are great games. They are the definitive way, in my opinion, to play Gen 2. I really enjoy playing Gen 2, but with the physical special split, the beauty that we got in Gen 4, it's just the best way to play, in my opinion. Although the stuff that you get in Crystal, it does suck that that's not there, but it is what it is. Black and White for me, I probably put in the C tier. Now, I respect the fact that Black and White has only Gen 5 Pokemon. The problem is I don't really like a lot of Gen 5 Pokemon. It does have one of the better stories for a Pokemon game, but at the same time, story isn't like the biggest reason you play a Pokemon game. I like the fact that it has reusable TMs, stuff like that. It did start to introduce some conveniences, some stuff that we saw in the future. So I appreciate what it does there. But yeah, it's, you know what? I feel like, yeah, okay. I'm okay with where this is. I almost moved up to the B tier, but yeah, I think I'm good with where it is. I don't know if it's, yeah, okay. I'm like thinking, all right, I'm gonna put in the B tier. Yeah, all right. Now that I think about it, I think I'm gonna have it like this. Second guess myself, but my most recent playthrough actually is with Black 2 and White 2. This was the final game. I hadn't done a playthrough yet on at least one of the versions of the game, and I'm gonna say Black and White 2 is definitely an A tier game. This is the start of where you could tell, at least from what I gather, that they were trying to phase out HMs. You barely have to use HMs in this game. I don't know if that was the case in Black and White as well, but I feel like you had to use them more in Black and White. But it felt like Black and White 2, you could definitely tell they were gonna start to make some changes that obviously we ended up seeing in X and Y and forward. But yeah, I'm gonna say Black 2, White 2, good game. Definitely one of the tougher games. Another great thing about it, it has a challenge mode, so it has a more difficult mode. It's the only Pokemon game that I know of that has that. So it's pretty cool, and I think probably one of the more underrated Pokemon games. And I like that it has Gen 5 Pokemon, obviously, but I like that they have like a mix of old and new. And I just thought altogether the fact that it's also a complete sequel, it's not just the third version, it's a complete and total sequel, makes it very unique in that way, and I really enjoy it. X and Y. I like X and Y, to be honest with you. Is it A tier though? I'm probably gonna put X and Y like towards the top of B tier. Again, it has the XP share, which I do like. It has a great variety of Pokemon at the beginning. It has a lot of great shiny hunting stuff, so I enjoy it. I had a lot of fun with it. I almost want to put it A tier, but I don't know. The story's kind of meh. I mean, I like that it introduces fairy Pokemon. No, I'm going to leave it at B tier. I will put Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, though, at A tier. In my opinion, it's the definitive way to play Gen 3. And this is the game that made me really appreciate Gen 3. It's like you clean a few things up and all of a sudden, I think Gen 3 is just an amazing game. I think it is one of the best. Gen 3 is the best, like, one aside from maybe Gen 1 has the best like lineup of Pokemon in its generation. But there was some thing, you know, they made it more exciting. They added the Mega and the Primal stuff. I thought was really, really cool. I love how they integrated the gimmick of that generation of Generation 6 with the Megas, and they integrated that into the games, right? Alpha and Sapphire, which I don't know why they didn't do Gigantamax and all that in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl and make it interesting, but whatever. But these are great games. There's some fun shiny hunting stuff you can do in this game too, so I'm a fan. Original Sun and Moon, I'll put in the C tier. And the reason I rank it so low is because Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are just the better version to play. The only good thing that the original Sun and Moon has over Ultra Sun and Moon is just that the story makes a little bit more sense. I think Lusamine is just a better, more well thought out villain, and then they tried to change the story in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and it just doesn't hit the same way. But other than that, it's like there's almost no reason to play. In fact, they get so invalidated, I'm basically just going to put them in the D tier. But Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon are going, I'm going to put it in the C tier. But S tier for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Yes, it's a little, not even a little, it's very dialogue heavy, especially at the beginning of Gen 7, but I love these games. I appreciate that they did something different instead of gyms. That doesn't mean I want that all the time. I do like gyms, and I'm glad that they came back. But I like that they did something different in this game. The totems are legitimately challenging in this game, and this is the most fun game for shiny hunting. I might be a little bit biased because I used to stream when this game was the game to play. I just had so much fun with this game. I put probably more hours into these games than any other. The fact that it was easy to get the shiny charm was also a big deal. I mean, people didn't like, they kind of took out the national decks in a sense, but the fact that it was easier to get the shiny charm was like a nice convenience, but you could still put all the Pokemon in the game. They just weren't recognized as the national decks, whatever, all that, but you still had Pokemon Bank. But yeah, they had so much stuff with the Ultra Wormholes. You had the SOS method of Pokemon calling other Pokemon in for help. You had these island scan Pokemon. It just felt like there was so much content, and every month you could get new Pokemon they'd have come out with like shinies. You could go to GameStop and get put them into your game. It had the GTS, like the global trade system, which is amazing. I know they've been like implementing these kind of after the fact, but I feel like they were done right in this era. X and Y 2, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire 2, I feel like they did them right, but yeah. Let's go Pikachu and Eevee. I'm gonna throw in the B tier. Again, it is a fun Kanto experience, but it lacks a little bit of content. But I did have a lot of fun with it. It's easy to complete the Pokedex, obviously, but kind of once you beat the game and get the Pokedex, there's like really nothing to do. I mean, you can do the shiny hunting, but I can only do that for so long because you have to really be watching because Pokemon appear and disappear so quickly. So yeah. Sword and Shield. This is a tough one for me, but I'm gonna put Sword and Shield up on the A tier. The DLC definitely puts it over the top. I probably would have ranked this lower. I mean, the story is kind of just total garbage, but what makes this game fun is the wild area, the raid battles, and then all the other content. I really enjoyed the story in the DLC. Isle of Armor, and I especially like the Crown Tundra story. Some people like the Isle of Armor story more, but I like the Crown Tundra story way, way more. And then you have the Dynamax Adventures. There's a lot of content in this game, and they will have kind of routine things going on, like events going on still to this day that are going on in the game. So even though the initial playthrough is kind of like meh, there's so much other stuff going on with the games that I gotta respect it, and I gotta put Sword and Shield in there. So it's a game, it's like, I don't know if I want to go through and like replay the story of the game, but it's a game I could definitely see myself going back to do all the other stuff, to Shiny Hoenn with Dynamax Adventures or other things like that. So for that, I think it does deserve to be in the A tier. Finally, we get to Pokemon Legends Arceus. And that, I mean, I gotta say, it's gotta go in the S tier. It's by no means a perfect game. By no means a perfect game, but it is some of the most fun I've ever had during a Pokemon game. It's the type of Pokemon game I've been wanting to see for a very, very long time. There's a lot of areas that they can improve on this game, so I could easily see if they do another Pokemon Legends game and they fix some of the issues. Like, it can be a very ugly game to look at, and the beginning intro goes on way too long, and I just wish there was a little bit more with the battle system and the quests and stuff. I think there just needed to be more, and maybe the DLC will push it up even further, because I really hope we get DLC for this game. But I could easily see a sequel taking its place. If they improve upon this formula, I could see this getting knocked down, or the sequel to this game going like S+ or whatever, because they've got a winning formula here, and it's so good. Even like you can see the foundation of it is so good that I have to put it in the S tier. But I feel like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more they could do with a game like this. But this is where I stand. And yeah, it is leaning quite heavy towards newer games, but I do think things like quality of life really makes it that way. If I wanted to do a nostalgia list, it'd be a little bit different for sure. But as of, hey, what are Pokemon games I like to play now? S and A and a little bit of B is where I see myself going back to. I don't really see myself going any lower than that. So let me know what you guys think. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.